As night descends and the world quiets, let us embark on a serene voyage through the camel's journey. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Find comfort in your surroundings as we venture into a desert of dreams and tranquility. Imagine the soft, whispering sands and the cool, gentle breeze of an endless desert under a canopy of stars. Here, in the oasis of our tale, you meet Camel, a young camel with a heart full of adventure and eyes set on the horizon. Allow the story to envelop you, a blanket woven from the threads of wonder and the spirit of exploration. With each word, let the day's worries fade, replaced by a landscape of peace and possibility. Tonight, as Camel takes its first steps into the unknown, let yourself be lulled into a restful sleep, guided by tales of endurance and the magic of the desert. Good night, and may your dreams be as boundless and bright as Camel's journey. Chapter 1. The Departure. In the heart of a vast, unending desert, shielded from the prying eyes of the world by towering dunes and whispering sands, lay the oasis of beginnings. This verdant haven was home to a thriving community of camels, each with their own tales and dreams. Among them was a young camel named Camel, whose spirit was as boundless as the desert sky. Camel was not content with merely treading the well-worn paths around the oasis or listening to the stories of old adventures were told beneath the starlit canopy. Camel yearned for something more, a journey of its own. A journey that would stretch the limits of its endurance and carve a path of discovery across the endless sands. One golden dawn, as the sun rose, painting the desert in hues of fire and gold, Camel stood at the edge of the oasis, gazing into the vast desert. The air was filled with the scent of adventure and the whisper of the unknown. It was here, amidst the chorus of the waking oasis, that Camel's heart swelled with determination. Today would be the day it would step into the desert, to seek what lay beyond the horizon. The community of camels gathered, as if the desert itself had whispered the news of Camel's departure. Among them was the elder, as ancient as the dunes, and as wise as the stars. His eyes, deep in knowing, held the stories of countless journeys etched into the very sands of time. Camel approached the elder, its heart beating a rhythm of excitement and fear. I wish to journey across the desert, steady its voice, steady it, filled with the awe of the unknown, to see what lies beyond our home, to learn the secrets of the sands, and to return with stories of my own. The elder regarded him kindly, a gentle smile wheezing his withered face. The desert is both mother and muse, harsh and giving. It teaches us about the world of ourselves. He began, his voice a soft echo of the desert wind. Remember endurance and adaptability, all your greatest allies. The journey will test you, reshape you, but also reward you with wisdom and strength. The Camel listened, the elder's words settling in its heart like precious jewels. It understood the journey would not be easy, that the sands would sometimes shift beneath its feet, leading it into the embrace of the unknown. Yet, the fire of adventure burned brightly within Camel, illuminating the path forward. As the sun climbed higher, casting the bone shadows on the sand, Camel turned to face the desert. The community of camels, led by the elder, raised their voices in a chorus of farewells and blessings, with the warmth of their wishes on its back, and the promise of the unknown calling its name. Camel took its first step into the vast desert. The sands whispered beneath its feet, 1,000 stories waiting to be told. As Camel embarked on the journey that leaded into the heart of the desert and beyond, the oasis of beginnings faded into the distance. A green dune nestled in the golden sands as Camel ventured into the embrace of the unknown, where tales of endurance and adaptability awaited. And so, with the sun as its guide and the desert as its teacher, Camel's journey began. A tale of discovery, resilience, and the unbreakable spirit of adventure that dwells within the heart of those who dare to dream. As Camel ventured further from the oasis of beginnings, the verdant greens and lively chatter of its home gave way to the solemn silence of the desert. A sun, a fiery orb in the sky, cast a blanket of warmth over the land, and the sand shimmered like a sea of gold beneath its gaze. Camel's steps, firm and unyielding, carved a path into the untrodden sands, each footprint a testament to its courage and resolve. The desert, vast and unending, whispered secrets on the wind, tales of those who had walked its paths before. Camel remembered the elder's words, a guiding light in the expanse of the unknown. The desert is a teacher, harsh but fair. It will show you your strengths and reveal your weaknesses. Listen to its lessons, for they will guide you on your journey. With the wisdom of the elder etched in its heart, Camel faced the desert not as a foe, but as a mentor. The challenges it would face, the trials and tribulations, were but lessons to be learned, each step a stride towards understanding. As the day waned, and the sky painted itself in shades of orange and pink, Camel came upon its first challenge. A vast expanse of quicksand lay before it, a hidden danger cloaked beneath a guise of solid ground. Camel paused, recalling the elder's advice. We encounter quicksand. Do not panic. Panic is the quicksand of the mind. Stay calm, assess your surroundings, and you will find a way across it. Taking a deep breath, Camel surveyed the area, its eyes catching the glint of solid ground not far off to the side. Slowly, carefully, it made its way around the perilous trap, each step a deliberate choice. As it reached solid ground once more, Camel felt a surge of confidence. The wisdom of the elder had seen it through, a beacon of light in the face of adversity. The sun dipped below the horizon, and the desert cooled the night air, bringing with it a symphony of stars. Camel settled beneath the canopy of the night, the desert around it a blanket of tranquility. In the quiet of the night, Camel reflected on the day's journey, on the lessons learned, and the challenges overcome. It was then that Camel realized the true depth of the elder's wisdom. The journey was not just about reaching a destination or proving one's resilience. It was about the lessons learned along the way, about growing and adapting, about becoming more than one was before. Then, the true test came. A vast chasm stretched before Camel, its depths hidden by shadows, a gulf that seemed impassable. Camel paused at the edge, peering into the abyss, the wind whispering secrets from the depths. It was a moment of doubt, of fear that perhaps the journey was too much, that the path forward was lost. Yet, as Camel stood at the brink, the elder's wisdom echoed in its heart. In the face of the insurmountable, find the strength within. Your spirit, resilient and enduring, is your greatest ally. With a deep breath, Camel looked around, seeking another way. To its right, a narrow path led to the chasm's edge, a precarious route, but a path nonetheless. With careful steps, Camel began to traverse the ledge, each step a testament to its courage. The chasm loomed beside it, a constant reminder of the fall that awaited should it falter. But Camel did not falter. It moved with deliberate care, drawing on the wall of strength within, on the resilience that the desert was teaching it with each step. When at last Camel reached the other side, the sense of achievement was overwhelming. Looking back at the chasm, Camel realized it was not just a physical obstacle, but a barrier within, a test of its spirit and determination, and it had overcome. The sun began to set, painting the desert in shades of fire and gold, a daily masterpiece that marked the end of another chapter in Camel's journey. As night fell, Camel settled beneath a canopy of stars. The desert around it a vast, silent witness to the day's journey. In the quiet of the desert night, Camel reflected on the day. It had faced the vastness of the sands, encountered the creatures of the desert, and overcome the chasm that had tested its spirit. With each challenge, Camel grew not just in strength, but in understanding. The desert, with all its harsh beauty and unforgiving challenges, was teaching Camel the true meaning of resilience. And so, beneath the watchful gaze of the stars, Camel rested. The journey ahead still long, but its spirit undaunted, for it knew now that within it lay the strength to overcome, to adapt, and to endure, no matter what the desert placed in its path. With the stars as its witness, Camel made a vow. It would face the challenges of the desert with courage and wisdom. It would listen of the sands and the wind, and it would return to the oasis of beginnings not just as a camel who had traversed the desert, but as one who had learned its secrets, who had grown and changed through the trials it had faced. As the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, Camel rose, its spirit renewed. The desert awaited, its vast expanse a canvas for the day's lessons. With the elder's wisdom in its heart and the promise of the journey ahead, Camel set off once more into the heart of the desert, towards the unknown adventures that lay beyond. The tale of Camel's journey continues as it takes the first step into the sands, facing the vast desert with courage and the wisdom of the elder as its guide. With the dawn casting a soft glow over the desert, Camel embarked on the next leg of its journey. The sands, a golden tapestry under the rising sun, stretched endlessly before it. This was the heart of the desert, a place where few dared to tread, and where the stories of old were etched into every grain of sand. Camel, with the Iljas as its compass, stepped forward into the vastness, each step a declaration of its resolve. The morning sun climbed higher, its rays a gentle caress that grew into a fierce embrace as the day aged. Camel felt the heat, a relentless force that tested its endurance. Yet, it remembered the elder's teachings, to respect the sun's power and to find strength in the struggle. Camel paced itself, conserving energy, moving with purpose under the desert sun. As the day wore on, Camel encountered the creatures of the desert. A lizard, quick and red-eyed, skittered across the sands, its movements a dance with the heat. Camel watched fascinated as the lizard paused, looking up with a gaze, but spoke of the desert's beauty. In that moment, Camel understood the harmony of this land, a balance between survival and the stark, unforgiving beauty that surrounded it. The landscape began to change as Camel ventured further, the smooth sands giving way to rugged terrain, littered with rocks and sparse vegetation. Here, the desert showed a different face, one of resilience and adaptability. Camel navigated the terrain with care, mindful of the elder's words that the desert was ever-changing, and one must adapt to meet its challenges. As the first light of dawn kissed the horizon, casting long shadows across the desert, Camel awoke to the next chapter of its adventure. The air was cool, a brief respite from the relentless heat of the day to come. Camel set off at a steady pace, eager to meet the new challenges the day would bring. The desert, ever-changing and full of surprises, did not disappoint. Mid-morning, as the sun claimed its dominion over the sky, Camel noticed a peculiar shape in the sand ahead. Curiosity piqued, Camel approached cautiously, aware that the desert was home to many creatures, not all of them friendly. It was a scorpion, its carapace glistening in the sunlight, claws and tail arched menacingly. Camel halted, remembering about in this day of the dangers of the desert. The scorpion, a creature both revered and feared, was a testament to the desert's harsh laws of survival. Yet there was a beauty in its form, a deadly grace that spoke of adaptation and resilience. The scorpion seemed to regard Camel with an ancient wisdom in its eyes. A silent challenge issued between them. Camel, remembering the lessons of the desert, chose respect over fear. It spoke softly to the scorpion, words carried on the gentle breeze, an acknowledgement of the nature's strength and a plea for safe passage. To Camel's surprise, the scorpion shifted, its movements deliberate. And then, with a grace that belied its fearsome appearance, it scuttled aside, allowing Camel to pass. In that moment, Camel understood a deeper lesson of the desert, that strength was not just in the overcoming of obstacles, but in the wisdom to know when to fight and when to seek harmony. Encounter with the scorpion became a pivotal moment in Camel's journey, a lesson in a balance between courage and caution, strength and wisdom. Camel moved on, the path ahead clear, but the memory of the scorpion lingered, a reminder of the desert's vast, complex tapestry of life. As the day progressed, the desert unveiled its myriad viands, vast plains of sand that stretched to the horizon, rocky cat-like rocks that jutted from the earth, yet the bones of the world, in dunes that rose and fell like the golden soon. Camel navigated these landscapes with a newfound confidence, each step guided by the lessons learned from the land and its inhabitants. The sun began its descent, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, a daily spectacle that marked the passage of time in the desert. Camel found a sheltered nook among the rocks, a place to rest as night enveloped the desert. The stars emerged, a celestial tapestry that mirrored the sands below, boundless, vast, and filled with stories waiting to be told. As Camel settled beneath the stars, the encounter with the scorpion replayed in its mind. It was more than a meeting between traveler and creature. It was a dialogue with the desert itself. Camel had shown respect, and in return, the desert had offered safe passage, a contract sealed in the silent understanding between them. That night, as Camel drifted into sleep, the desert whispered its ancient sounds, stories of endurance and adaptability, of creatures that thrived in its embrace, and of travelers who sought its wisdom. Camel, now a part of that endless story, slept peacefully, ready for the journey that lay ahead. Under the cloak of night, the desert transformed. The fierce heat of the day retreated, and in its place came a cool, serene tranquility. Camel, nestled among the gentle embrace of dunes, gazed upward. The sky, a vast canvas of deep velvet, was adorned with countless stars, each one a distant world, a story untold. This celestial spectacle, a nightly performance, witnessed by the sands and the silent dwellers of the desert, filled Camel with a profound sense of wonder and solitude. In this moment of quiet reflection, Camel felt a deep connection to the desert and its myriad of creatures. The lessons of a day, particularly the encounter with the scorpion, lingered in its thoughts. The desert was not just a place of hardship and survival, but also of beauty, wisdom, and unexpected kindness. The stars above seemed to affirm this realization, their steady light guiding travelers and dreamers alike. Camel recalled the tales of the elder, stories of ancient caravans that once traversed these endless sands under the sand-starlit sky, guided by the constellations. These travelers, like Camel, sought wisdom, adventure, and the essence of the desert. As ever-shifting heart. It was a timeless journey, one that connected Camel to the past, to the spirits of those who had walked this path before. The cool night air whispered secrets, tales of hidden oases and lost cities buried beneath the sands, waiting to be discovered. Camel's imagination soared, envisioning the adventures that lay ahead, the mysteries of the desert waiting to be unraveled. The desert, under the veil of night, seemed less a harsh wilderness and more a place of infinite possibilities, source of boundless stories waiting to be lived and told. As the night deepened, Camel settled into the sand, its body warmed by the earth, its spirit comforted by the blanket of stars above. In this vast, open cathedral, Camel felt a profound sense of peace and belonging. The challenges of the journey, the trials of the day seemed distant now, replaced by a quiet confidence in its own resilience and adaptability. The desert night passed, a silent witness to the bond between the land and its traveler. Camel, under the watchful gaze of the stars, dreamt of the journey ahead. Dreams of ancient cities unearthed by the wind, of hidden valleys lush with life, of mountains that touched the heavens, and of rivers that sang songs of the earth. These dreams, vivid and alluring, were the desert's gift, a promise of the wonders that lay beyond the horizon. As dawn approached, painting the sky with strokes of pink and gold, Camel awoke. The stars had faded, their nocturnal vigil concluded, but their light remained in Camel's heart, a beacon of hope and wonder. The desert too awakened, its sands aglow with the first light of day, ready to reveal new paths, new challenges, and new stories. With the dawn came a renewed sense of purpose. Camel rose, casting one last glance at the fading stars, a silent vow to carry their light forward. The journey was far from over. The day promised more lessons to be learned, more mysteries to uncover. But Camel, with the wisdom of the night and the stars as guides, was ready to continue the adventure, to walk the sand with courage, curiosity, and an open heart. As the sun reclaimed its throne, casting a blanket of warmth over the desert, Camel ventured forth, emboldened by the night's dreamful respite. The desert, ever a land of contrasts, now shimmered with the promise of new lessons to be learned under the watchful eye of the sun. It wasn't long before the desert presented Camel with its next challenge, a lesson veiled in the mystery of the mirage. The heat of the day grew intense, and the horizon began to dance, blurring the line between sand and sky. It was in this hypnotic landscape that Camel first saw it, a vision of water, so clear and inviting that it seemed a balm to the soul. Thirst, an ever-present companion in the desert, whispered temptations, urging Camel towards the mirage. But Camel hesitated, recalling the elders' teachings about the desert as illusions. The mirage, a phenomenon as old as the desert itself, offered false promises to those who pursued it. It was a test, not of the body, but of the mind and spirit. To chase the mirage was to follow a path of desire and desperation, leading only to disillusionment. Camel, understanding this, chose to trust in the wisdom gained from the journey thus far. Instead of pursuing the illusion, Camel paused, closing its eyes to the deceptive beauty of the mirage. In this moment of introspection, Camel found clarity. A desert, in its harsh and unyielding truth, taught that reality was often hidden beneath layers of illusion. To see the truth, one must look beyond the surface, beyond the immediate and the apparent. With renewed resolve, Camel opened its eyes. The mirage had vanished, leaving only the vast, unending desert. Yet in the place where the illusion had been, Han now saw something real, a path, not of water, but of purpose. It was a path that led deeper into the heart of the desert, towards the mountains that touched the skies and the valleys that whispered secrets of ancient times. Camel's journey continued, each step a defiance of the Megagen's seductive lies. The desert, acknowledging Camel's wisdom and courage, revealed its truths. Here, a hidden spring veiled by rocks and sand offered the sweet, life-giving water that the mirage had promised, but could never provide. There were a grove of date palms, an oasis of shade and sustenance, stood as a testament to the desertian bounty. As the sun set, painting the desert in hues of fire and gold, Camel reflected on the day's journey. A mirage of truth, an illusion that had promised relief and had tested faith, was now a memory, a lesson learned. Camel understood that the desert's greatest gifts were not easily won. They required faith, courage, and the wisdom to see beyond the immediate, to discern the truth hidden beneath the sands. Beneath a canopy of stars, Camel rested, the day's lesson etched into the fabric of its being. The desert, with its mirages and mysteries, was both teacher and testing ground, shaping Camel into a traveler of wisdom and insight. For in the heart of the desert, truth was not an oasis to be found, but a path to be walked one step at a time, guided by the light of understanding and the strength of spirit. Chapter 2: The Heart of the Desert. Not long into its journey, as the sun climbed higher, casting long, slender shadows upon the sand, Camel encountered the desert and Tutsi's next lesson, a dance at the dust devils. These sprawling columns of air and sand, born from the heat and the vast, open spaces dazed across the desert floor, their forms both beautiful and menacing. To the uninitiated, these dust devils might seem mere winds of nature, but to Camel, they represented the unpredictable twists of life's journey. They moved with a purpose known only to the desert, changing direction without warning, their paths as enigmatic as the future itself. Camel watched, fascinated yet cautious, as the dust devils performed their ancient dance. It was a spectacle of the desert's untamed spirit, a reminder that even in its journey, Camel was not the master of this vast, wild domain, but a humble traveler seeking passage through its heart. Drawing upon the lessons of the desert, Camel knew that to navigate to the dust devils was to engage in a dance of its own, a dance of respect, understanding, and adaptability, with patience and careful observation. Camel learned the rhythm of the dust devils, their patterns of movement, and the signs that preceded their formation. Armed with this knowledge, Camel began to move, its steps measured and deliberate. With each step, Camel wove through the dance of the dust devils, moving in harmony with the desert, the unpredictable nature. Where once there might have been trepidation, there was now a sense of unity with the environment, a shared dance between the camel and the desert. This dance was not just a physical journey, but a spiritual one. With each twist and turn, Camel overcame the fear of the unknown, embracing the unpredictability of life's path. The dust devils, once obstacles, became partners in the dance, guiding Camel deeper into the heart of the desert. As the day waned, and the last of the dust devils dissipated into the cooling air, Camel emerged from the dance, not unscathed, but stronger, wiser. The desert had imparted another lesson, a lesson of resilience and the strength to navigate through life's uncertainties with grace and confidence. That night, under a canopy of stars that had witnessed the dance of countless generations, Camel rested. The desert around was still, save for the gentle whisper of the wind, recounting the day's dance to the ancient sands. Camel, with each breath, felt a deeper connection to the desert, to the cycles of nature that governed all life. The dance of the dust devils was more than a challenge, it was a rite of passage, a journey through the heart of the desert that tested and revealed the spirit of the traveler. Camel, with its heart open and its spirit attuned to the lessons of the desert, slept peacefully, ready for the adventures that awaited with the rise of the sun. The journey through the heart of the desert continued, each step, each lesson weaving into the fabric of Camel's being, shaping the camel into a traveler of profound wisdom and resilience. For in the heart of the desert, every grain of sand, every whisper of the wind held stories of endurance, adaptability, and the eternal dance of life. After the dance with the dust devils, Camel ventured deeper into the desert, where the sun beat down with relentless fervor, and the sand stretched endlessly towards the horizon. It was here, in this vast expanse of solitude and silence, that Camel encountered the oasis mirage. As the day wore on, and the heat became almost unbearable, Camel's eyes caught sight of something extraordinary, a patch of green in the distance, shimmering beneath the golden sun. Trees swayed gently in the breeze, their leaves whispering promises of shade and rest, while a pool of clear, cool water beckoned invitingly. For a moment, Camel's heart wept with hope. The journey had been long and arduous, and the promise of an oasis was a balm to the weary spirit. But as Camel approached, the image wavered, the edges blurring and shifting until, with a final shimmer, it disappeared, leaving behind only the relentless heat and the endless sands. Camel stood still, the realization dawning slowly. The oasis had been a mirage, an illusion born from the deepest desires for respite and nourishment. A desert, in its harsh wisdom, had presented Camel with another lesson: the deception of desires and the importance of discernment. The desert whispered to Camel, its voice carried on the wind, telling of the dangers of being led astray by the heart's desires without the guidance of wisdom and discernment. It spoke of the necessity to see beyond the immediate, to question the reality of what the eyes beheld and the heart yearned for. Camel understood, in the heart of the desert, where survival hung precariously in the balance, the mirage was a test of spirit. It was a reminder that not all that glimmers holds truth, and not all desires lead to fulfillment. The true oasis was not found in the fleeting promises of the mirage, but in the strength and wisdom gained through the journey. With renewed resolve, Camel turned away from the place where the oasis mirage had danced its deceptive dance. The journey continued, each step taking Camel further into the heart of the desert, deeper into the realms of self-discovery and understanding. The lesson of the oasis mirage stayed with Camel, a constant reminder of the need for discernment in the face of desires. It taught Camel to question, to seek the truth beneath the surface, to find strength in the wisdom gained through the challenges faced. As the sun set, casting the desert in hues of purple and gold, Camel found a place to rest. The night sky unfolded above, a tapestry of stars telling ancient stories of the desert, of travelers who had walked these sands before, each with their own tales of mirages and discoveries. Camel slept beneath the stars, the heart filled with the peace that comes from understanding. The journey through the desert was a journey through the self, a path of challenges and lessons that shaped the traveler, teaching the importance of wisdom, resilience, and the discernment to see beyond the illusions of desire. In the heart of a desert, beneath the vast, starlit sky, Camel dreamt of a journey ahead, ready for the lessons yet to come, guided by the wisdom of the desert and the strength found within. Then the heart of the desert, where the sands whispered secrets of ancient wisdom, and the stars guided the paths of those brave enough to traverse its expanse, Camel's journey continued. The lessons of the desert were many, each sculpting Camel into a traveler of great understanding and resilience. It was in this vast, open canvas of sand and sin that Camel's path crossed with that of a desert fox, a meeting that would impart the lesson of might, and intelligence in overcoming adversity. As the dawn crept over the horizon, casting a soft glow upon the sands, Camel noticed a figure moving with grace and purpose. It was a desert fox, its coat blending seamlessly with the golden sands, its eyes shining with the wisdom of the desert. The fox stopped a short distance away, observing Camel with a curious gaze. "Good morning, traveler," the fox called out, its voice as smooth as the desert wind. "It seems you have ventured far from the common path. The heart of the desert holds many lessons. What brings you to these endless sands?" Camel, surprised by the fox's eloquence, responded with the tale of its journey, of the lessons learned and the wisdom sought in the vastness of the desert. The fox listened intently, nodding in understanding. "The desert is a great teacher," the fox replied. "Mind you, a diligent student, that the desert's lessons are not only of endurance and resilience, they are also of wit and intelligence. For the desert is not for those who do not heed its subtle cues." The fox then shared stories of its life in the desert, of how adaptability and cunning had been its allies in the face of adversity. spoke of mirages that deceived, of predators that reamed the sands, and of the ever-young landscape that demanded constant vigilance and creativity to navigate. To survive here, the fox explained, one must be as adaptable as the sands, as cunning as the night. The desert does not yield its treasures easily. It tests you, challenges you to use your wit and intelligence to overcome the obstacles it places in your path. Camel listened, captivated by the fox's tales, realizing that the lessons of the desert were deeper and more nuanced than Nat had first imagined. The fox's stories were not just tales of survival, but of thriving in an environment that demanded both a physical and mental agility. As the sun climbed higher, casting its intense heat upon the land, the fox prepared to depart. "Remember, traveler, it said, turning to Camel, the heart of the desert is vast, and its lessons are many. Use your wit, listen to the wind, watch the stars, and let the sands guide your path." With a nod of respect, the fox turned and vanished into the desert, leaving Camel to ponder the lesson of wit and intelligence. It was a lesson that complemented those already learned, a reminder that strength and endurance were but part of the equation in navigating the challenges of life. Camel resumed its journey, the fox's words echoing in its mind. With each step, Camel grew more attuned to the subtleties of the desert, learning to read the sands in the sand, to listen to the whispers of the wind, and to see beyond the obvious to the truths hidden beneath the surface. Meeting with the desert fox had enriched Camel's journey, imbued with a deeper understanding of the importance of adaptability, cunning, and intelligence. In the heart of the desert, where every grain of sand held a lesson, Camel had found another key to unlocking the wisdom of the wilds, a step closer to mastering the art of thriving in the vast, unforgiving landscape. As Camel's journey through the heart of the desert continued, the sun began its descent, casting long shadows that danced across the sands. The stories of the desert fox, rich with wisdom and cunning, lingered in Camel's mind, a beacon of intelligence in the vast wilderness. It was under this twilight canopy that Camel approached a place unlike any other in the desert, a daunting valley known to the few who dared whisper its name, the Valley of Shadows. The Valley of Shadows stretched before Camel, a deep crevasse that split the desert floor, its depths swallowed by darkness even as the final rays of the sun reached out in vain to illuminate its hidden corners. The air here was cooler, carrying whispers of those who had traversed the valley before, tales of courage and the power of perseverance through darkness. Camel stood at the valley's edge, peering into the abyss. A sense of unease fluttered in its heart, the instinctive fear of the unknown and the unseen. But Camel remembered the lessons of the desert, the scorpion's respect, the murderous truth, and the fox's wit. Each lesson was a step toward understanding, while a powerful force could be faced, could be overcome. Taking a deep breath, Camel began its descent into the valley. As it moved forward, the light from above faded, and the darkness enveloped Camel, a tangible presence that seemed to press in from all sides. The familiar comfort of the sun was gone, replaced by the cool, whispering shadows that spoke of the unknown. In the darkness, Camel's other senses sharpened. The sound of its footsteps echoed off the valley walls, a steady rhythm that became a reassuring presence. The scent of the earth, cool and ancient, filled the air, grounding Camel in the reality of its journey. And ahead, faintly visible in the scant light that dared to penetrate, The valley's depths was a path narrow and winding that promised passage through the darkness. Camel realized that the Valley of Shadows was not just a physical challenge, but a journey through the fears that dwell within. To cross the valley was to confront those fears, to acknowledge their presence, and to choose to move forward despite them. With each step, Camel felt its fear diminish, replaced by a growing sense of strength and determination. The path through the valley was not straight nor easy. It twisted and turned, offering choices and challenges, each one a test of Camel's courage and perseverance. There were moments of doubt, moments when turning back seemed the easier choice. But Camel pressed on, driven by the lessons of the desert and the belief in its own strength. And then, after what seemed like an eternity, the path began to ascend, and the darkness started to recede. The first light of dawn, a soft glow on the horizon, greeted Camel as it emerged from the Valley of Shadows. The sun rose, casting its light into the valley, revealing the path that Camel had traveled, a testament to its journey through the darkness. Camel stood at the valley's edge, looking back at the path it had conquered. The Valley of Shadows, once the place of fear and uncertainty, was now a symbol of Camel's courage and perseverance. Camel had faced its fears, had walked through the darkness, and had emerged stronger, more resilient. The journey through the heart of the desert continued, each step forward a reflection of the lessons learned in the Valley of Shadows. Camel understood now that darkness and fear were part of the journey, part of the learning. But with courage, with perseverance, and with the wisdom of the desert as a guide, those shadows could be faced, those fears could be overcome. After emerging from the Valley of Shadows, a testament to Camel's newfound courage and perseverance, the desert landscape began to shift in ways that were subtle yet profound. The sand seemed to whisper encouragement, and the winds carried a promise of revelations yet to come. It was in this state of reflective journeying that Camel stumbled upon a marvel hidden within the heart of the desert, the River of Reflections. Nestled between dunes that rose like the walls of a grand castle, the river flowed with a tranquility that belied the buried world beyond its banks. Its waters were crystal clear, mirroring the azure of the sky above, a ribbon of blue in a realm of gold. Camel approached the riverbank, drawn by the serenity and the gentle murmur of water, caressing the sand. As Camel gazed into the water, expecting to see its reflection as it had always known, it was taken aback. Instead of mirroring the present, the river revealed visions of what Camel might become. These were reflections not of the body, but of the spirit, projections of potential, and the fruits of resilience nurtured through the trials of the desert. In the water, Camel saw itself standing tall atop the highest dune, surveying the vast desert with eyes that gleamed with wisdom. It saw itself as a guide, leading other travelers through the perils of the sands, sharing the lessons of the scorpion, the mirage, the desert fox, and the Valley of Shadows. It saw a future where its journey inspired stories told around fires under starlit skies, stories that kindled a spark of courage in the hearts of listeners. The river did not merely show a single future, it revealed many possibilities, each a path that Camel could walk if it held true to the lessons of the desert. With every vision, the river whispered, "Resilience is the key to becoming." Each step through the desert sands, Each challenge faced and overcome is a step toward realizing these features. Transfixed by the vision, as Camel understood that the river of reflections was a gift of the desert, a mirror to the soul that showed not what one is but what one could become. The river spoke to the heart of every traveler who found its waters, offering inspiration and a glimpse of the potential that lay within, waiting to be unleashed. We saw resilience and perseverance, with a heart filled with newfound purpose and eyes open to the infinite possibilities of the future. Camel drank from the river, finding the water sweet with the promise of growth. As the visions faded, replaced once more by Camel's own reflection, it was as if the river had imbued Camel with a part of its magic, a constant reminder of the potential futures that awaited. Turning from the river of reflections, Camel set forth once again into the desert, each step a declaration of intent to journey toward those visions of the future. The desert, ever a land of extremes, had shown Camel the depths of its challenges, but now had revealed the heights of potential that those challenges could help one reach. The journey through the heart of the desert was far from over, but Camel moved forward with a lighter step, guided by the wisdom of the past and inspired by the promise of the future. The lessons of resilience learned in the desert embrace were now treasures, keys to unlocking the myriad paths that lay ahead. In the heart of the desert, where the sun kisses the earth and the horizon stretches into eternity, Camel yielded to the base of a mountain so tall it seemed to pierce the very heavens. This was the mountain that touches the sky, a place of legend spoken of in hushed tones by the creatures of the desert and travelers alike. It was said that those who scaled its heights found not just a physical summit, but a spiritual apex that revealed the true purpose of their journey. As Camel stood before the mountain, its vastness was overwhelming, yet there was a call that resonated deep within, an invitation to ascend, to discover, to transform. With the river of reflections, visions still vivid in its heart, Camel began the climb, each step a testament to the resilience and perseverance learned through the desert's trials. The ascent was arduous. The mountain slopes were steep, and the paths are fraught with challenges. Stones threatened to undo Camel's progress, while gusts of wind attempted to sway its resolve. Yet with each obstacle overcome, Camel found a strength it did not know it possessed, a strength born of its journey through the desert. Halfway up the mountain, Camel encountered a ledge wide enough to rest. Here, the view of the desert below was breathtaking. A sea of sand, dunes like waves frozen in time, stretching into the distance. From this vantage point, Camel could see how far it had come. The desert is vast, a mirror to the journey itself. As the climb continued, the air grew thinner, and the world below seemed to fade away, leaving only the sky above and the path ahead. A mountain, in its towering silence, spoke to Camel of endurance, of the importance of pushing beyond perceived limits, and of the beauty in the struggle. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, Camel reached the summit. The world unfolded below, a tapestry of creation that took Camel's breath away. The desert, with all its harshness and beauty, lay spread out like a lesson written upon the earth, and above, the sky stretched infinite, a realm of possibilities. It was here at the top of the mountain that touches the sky, that Camel understood the true purpose of its journey. It was not merely to traverse the desert or to overcome the challenges it presented, but to discover the strength within, to realize that every step, every moment of doubt and triumph was a part of a greater journey toward understanding oneself and one's past. The mound, with its unyielding presence, taught Tanya that the journey's purpose was not just about reaching a destination, but about the transformation that occurred along the way. The summit was not just a physical place, but a spiritual state, a moment of clarity and enlightenment where the essence of the journey was revealed. With a heart full of gratitude and eyes open to the depths of its own strength and potential, Camel took a moment to honor the mountain, the desert, and all the teachers along the way. The journey had shaped Camel, just as the wind shapes the dunes, ever changing, ever graying. As Camel began the descent, it was with the knowledge that the journey was far from over. Each step down the mountain was a step forward on a much larger path, a path that wound through the heart of the desert, that stretched far beyond into the unknown. The lessons of the mountain that touches the sky would remain with Camel, a guiding light as the journey continued, a reminder of the heights that could be reached when one dared to climb, to dream, and to discover the purpose within. As the sun rose, painting the sky in hues of gold and crimson, Camel arrived at the desert edge, where a vast sea of sand met the verdant lands beyond. This was the edge of the world, the place where two realms touched, and journeys found their turning points. Here, the camel paused, gazing back at the vast desert that had been both its crucible and its teacher. Chapter 3. The Return. The desert behind Camel shimmered in the morning light, its dunes weighing like waves in a frozen ocean, each one a memory, a challenge overcome, a lesson learned. The mountain that touches the sky stood tall in the distance, a silent sentinel watching over the desert, its summit touching the soft blue of the dawn sky. Camel, with each breath of the cool morning air, felt a profound sense of transformation. The camel that had entered the desert was not the same one that now stood at its edge. The trails of the desert, the serpent's wisdom, the magician's lesson, the cunning of the desert fox, the courage found in the valley of shadows, the visions of the river of reflections, and the enlightenment atop that touches this to up, reflecting upon its journey. Camel realized how much it had grown. Once it had seen a desert as a vast, empty space to be crossed, a challenge to be endured. Now it understood the desert was alive with stories, lessons, and spirits of those who had walked its sands before. The desert was not just a place, but a journey in itself, a journey that taught the value of perseverance, the importance of facing one's fears, and the beauty of discovering one's inner strength and potential. Standing at the edge of the world, Camel felt a deep connection to the desert, a bond forged through shared triumphs and triumphs. It knew that although it might leave the desert would never leave it. The lessons learned, the strength gained, and the wisdom acquired would be a part of Camel forever, guiding it through whatever lay beyond the daylight, beyond the desert edge. With a heart full of gratitude for the journey and the desert that had taught it so much, Camel turned its gaze forward, toward the verdant lands that stretched out before it. The world beyond the desert was vast, and filled with new challenges, adventures, and stories waiting to be discovered. But Camel, transformed by its journey through the heart of the desert, was ready. It knew that the resilience, wisdom, and strength it had found within the desert would carry it through whatever lay ahead. As Camel took the first step beyond the desert's edge, it carried with it the spirit of the desert, the courage of the scorpion, the adaptability of the fox, the perseverance found in the shadows, and the wisdom reflected in the river. These were now a part of Camel, woven into the very fabric of its being. The journey through the desert was complete, but Camel's journey through life was just beginning. With each step into the new lands, Kari carried the essence of the desert within, a testament to the transformative power of the journey and the enduring spirit of those who dare to walk the sands. As Camel ventured into the verdant lands beyond the desert, its path led to a hidden valley, nestled between two ancient hills, while there, amidst the lush greenery, stood a solitary stone wap, its surface worn by the winds of time, but still standing strong against the elements. It was here that Camel stumbled upon something that would forever change its understanding of its journey through the desert. Carved into the stone were markings unlike any Camel had seen before, deep grooves etched into the rock, forming images and symbols that told a story. The central figure was a camel, much like Camel, depicted with a grace and majesty that spoke of a tale, not just of survival, but of a profound journey. Surrounding the camel were symbols of the sun, the moon, the stars, and various elements of the desert. Scorpions, foxes, rivers, mountains, and the chapter of the camel's journey. Camel, with a sense of awe, traced its hooves over the carvings, feeling a connection across the ages to the camel that had undertaken a similar journey long ago. The realization dawned on Camel that its journey through the desert was not a solitary way, but was a part of a legacy, a lineage of desert travelers who had faced the vastness of the sands, learned from its challenges, and emerged transformed. The ancient carvings told of the camels' encounters with creatures of the desert, of lessons learned under the scorching sun and the cold, stirring nights, of moments of despair and triumph, and of a journey that was birthed outward across the shifting sands and sunsetting moon. The camel and the carvings, like Camel, had embarked on a journey of discovery, not just of the world around it, but of itself. As Camel stood before the ancient carvings, it felt a deep sense of kinship with the camel from the past. It understood that its journey through the desert was a part of something greater, a timeless saga of resilience, wisdom, and transformation shared by those who dared to traverse the heart of the desert. Camel realized that, in its own way, it was continuing the legacy of the ancient camel, adding its own story to the tapestry of tales that the desert held. The discovery of the carvings was a profound moment for Camel. It realized that its journey, with all its trials and triumphs, was not just its own, but a continuation of a story that had been unfolding for generations. Camel was a part of a long line of desert travelers, each contributing their own chapter to the story of the desert, a story of endurance, adaptability, and the quest for understanding. With a renewed sense of purpose, Camel knew that its journey was about more than just the physical distance traveled. It was about carrying forward the legacy of those who had journeyed before, about being a link in the chain of stories that stretched back into the mists of time. Camel understood that one day, its own story would inspire others, just as the ancient camel's story had inspired it. As Camel left the hidden valley and the ancient carvings behind, it carried with it a sense of belonging to a tradition that transcended time. The legacy of the ancient Camel was now a part of Camel, a beacon of light guiding it forward as it continued its journey beyond the desert into the unknown. As Camel began its journey back through the desert, the lessons learned and the wisdom gained became a beacon, drawing other desert dwellers to its side. The once solitary path now became a gathering, a congregation of creatures drawn by the tales of a camel that had traversed the heart of the desert and emerged enlightened. Word of Camil's return spread like the desert winds, stirring curiosity among the inhabitants of the sandy expanse. One by one they came, the scorpion whose wisdom had first set Camel on the path of discovery. The desert fox, clever and cunning, eager to hear of the camel's adventures. The lizards, the birds, even the winds themselves seemed to listen. Camel shared the stories of its journey, the dance of the dust devils, the mirage of false hopes, the meeting with the desert fox, the crossing of the valley of shadows, the meadow of reflections, and each tale was a testament to the challenges faced and the lessons learned, a narrative imbued with the essence of resilience, wisdom, and transformation. The creatures of the desert listened with rapt attention, their eyes gleaming under the starlit sky. Camel spoke of the importance of facing one's fears, of the necessity of adaptability, the value of inner strength, and the power of wisdom gained through hardship. The desert, Camel explained, was not just a place of trial but a teacher, a guide, and a companion on the journey of life. As the stories unfolded, a transformation occurred not just in Camel, but in all who listened. The scorpion reflected on the nature of wisdom and strength. The fox pondered the lessons of cunning and adaptability. The birds and lizards saw the desert anew, not as a harsh realm of survival, but as a landscape of endless possibilities. The gathering became a forum of exchange, where stories of endurance and perseverance were shared among the desert dwellers, each contributing their own experiences and insight. The tales of Camel's journey inspired them to see the challenges of the desert not as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities for growth and self-discovery. As the night deepened, the desert around the gathering seemed to listen, the sounds themselves bearing witness to the unity and shared wisdom of its inhabitants. The gathering of the desert dwellers became a symbol of the enduring spirit of the desert, a testament to the strength, resilience, and wisdom that flourished in the heart of the arid expanse. Camel, once a solitary traveler, now stood at the center of a community bound by shared experiences and mutual respect. The camel had become a beacon of hope and inspiration, a reminder that the journey through the desert was not just a physical passage, but a spiritual voyage that connected all who dared to tread its sands. As dawn broke, painting the sky in hues of pink and gold, the gathering dispersed, each creature returning to their corner of the desert, carrying with them the stories and wisdom of the night. Camel watched them go, a sense of fulfillment in its heart. The journey through the desert had come full circle, from a quest for personal enlightenment to the sharing of that enlightenment with others. Camel understood that its journey was never just about reaching a destination, but about the paths crossed, the lessons learned, and the stories shared. The gathering of the desert dwellers was a testament to the enduring legacy of those who journeyed through the heart of the desert, a legacy of wisdom, resilience, and shared humanity that transcended the sands of time. As Camel continued its journey, the desert began to whisper promises of an end, of a destination that lay just beyond the horizon. The sun, a constant companion on this voyage, cast a golden glow over the sands, as if lighting the way to the final chapter of Camel's Odyssey. It was in immense light, amidst the whispers of the wind and the shifting sands, that Camel stumbled upon the final oasis. This oasis was unlike any Camel had encountered before. It was a haven of lush greens and its stalwart waters, a stark contrast to the endless sands and scorching sun that had defined much of the journey. Palm trees offered shade and solace, while the waters mirrored the sky, a reflection of the journey's culmination. Camel approached the oasis with a sense of reverence. It was making soft sounds on the verdant grass, a melody unfamiliar yet comforting. The air was filled with the scent of flowers and fresh earth, a reminder of the life that thrived in the heart of the desert, a testament to resilience and perseverance. The oasis was not just a place of physical refreshment, but a symbol, a beacon of the rewards that come from enduring through trials and tribulations. Camel drank deeply from the cool waters, each sip a balm to the soul, a reward for the miles trekked, the mountains climbed, and the valleys crossed. Well, water was not just a thirst quencher, it an elixir, imbuing Camel with a sense of accomplishment and peace. As Camel rested under the shade of a palm, the journey replayed in its mind, the challenges faced, the friends made, and the lessons learned. The oasis represented not just the end of a physical journey, but the culmination of a transformative voyage, one that had reshaped Camel from the inside out. The beauty of the oasis lay not just in its greenery or its waters, but in what it represented: the beauty of reaching one's goals, the peace that comes with fulfilling a purpose, and the joy of discovering one's strengths and capabilities. It was a testament to the fact that the harshest deserts hid the most magnificent oases, just as the toughest challenges often led to the most rewarding outcomes. Camel spent time in the oasis, not in a hurry to leave. This was a moment of reflection, of basking in the achievements and preparing for the journey back home. It was a time to gather stories, wisdom, and strength to share with others, to spread the lessons of the desert far and wide. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Camel knew it was time to leave. The oasis, with its beauty and serenity, was a reminder that every journey, no matter how arduous, had its oasis, its moment of peace and reward. With a heart full of memories and a spirit enriched by the journey, Camel set off towards home. The oasis faded into the distance, but its essence remained, a beacon of hope, a symbol of perseverance, and a reminder of the beauty that lies in reaching one's goals.